Hello Darts Nutz, welcome to Darts Review channel. You may remember some time ago I reviewed the E-Myth Summit darts, and E-Myth darts is from a Chinese company called BC Sports, and they've been looking for a UK distributor for their darts. I don't think they've found one yet, so when I mentioned before about it, the only way you could get them was to contact them, and that still applies now because I don't think they've got anywhere in the UK that's selling them yet. So I'll leave a link up in the description of where you can contact if you want to buy a set, but they're not that cheap, and I've said to them before that the prices are a little bit high for the UK market, so they haven't really listened, so they're still quite high. I think $118, which translates to around about £92 or something like that. That's certainly nice enough, but probably it's going to be too pricey for most people. But hopefully if there's enough interest, then they might start thinking that they'll have to put the prices down a little bit, because it's going to be tough to compete with the UK brands and what have you, especially when there's a lot of them that are kind of reasonably priced, and especially with the likes of Darts Clearance, and that way you can get some really fancy darts for 35 quid. But anyway, the set that I'm reviewing here is the E-Myth Ivan. I don't really think that's the name of the guy who's on the picture. I think that's just the name that they've called the dart. I don't really know what the guy on the picture's called, but I'll try and find that out and I'll put that in the description. But it's likely a name that I probably can't pronounce right anyway. But never mind. So let's check them out. So I'm reviewing the 23 gram version, the 95% tungsten. They're in a range of weights from 21.5 gram all the way up to 28 gram, and they're also in soft tip 18, 20 and 21.5 gram, and as mentioned they retail for $118, which at current exchange is about £93. So as you can see, covered in this cardboard packaging, it almost looks camouflaged. Same colour blue as my cover on my table, and I think this is just a generic packaging, but a bit like Dynasty do, and also Trinidad. They've got a sticker of the player on, and a few brands do that where they have kind of like a generic packaging and they just put a sticker on of the player. But as you can see, it says 95% tungsten there, and in case you're wondering, there's the plate. But that's also quite clever how they've got the sticker to kind of match up with the background. I can't get the I'll have to open the other side. No, it's got a little sticker on it, so I'll see if I can pull it out. They don't have sticking sometimes, these, but it's just a couple of dense foam inlays with a velvety covering, and you get, I don't know if there's two sets of flights there. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you get two sets of flights with a neat design on. So which one shall I use? I think I'll go with the dragon ones. And then you get two sets of polycarbonate stems. They look to be, I would say, medium maybe. It's either medium or in between. And obviously the barrels. So that's what you get in the pack. So the dart's fit with a black coated point. It's a straight barrel dart, and it's got a kind of a coppery bronze coating on it, and obviously as you can see the grooves are painted orange, but it's got quite a few smooth or DSS sections, dreaded smooth sections for someone. So what is it, 1, 2, 3 sections there, but then you've got a section of very thin ring and groove grip, so fairly grippy on that part. And then on this part it's similar grip in the middle, but either side you've got this very fine triple ring grip with some staggered cuts, so just a little bit more grippy there I think. And I think the coating itself is also adding a little bit of grippiness. I think with coatings a lot depends on the individual, how it affects with the feel of your skin and like your temperature of your flesh and your moisture levels. Some people will feel some grippiness and other people won't, but for me, I am actually feeling a little bit from that coating, and it's one of the reasons why I like a gold tie coating, because it kind of has a similar feel to that. But if you need some actual physical grip, there's only that section there and that one. So I would say maybe front grippers are okay, and probably in between mid and rear grippers are okay for the actual grip on the barrel. But a fairly simple style barrel, so as it's a straight barrel, it should work whether you're a front, mid or rear gripper, and it's quite a slim one as well. And there's the polycarbonate in between size stems, and they're rather nicely designed, standard shape flights. So you've got a fairly flat bull nose there, just a very gentle squared taper, and then a smooth part followed by a painted groove, and then some standard ring and groove grip, another painted groove, and then a DSS threaded smooth section, another painted groove, and then on the rear to mid part it's a very fine triple ring grip interspersed with some standard ring and groove. But as you can see, the triple rings have got these staggered notches cut through, so that just adds a little bit more grippiness. And then another painted groove, and then a longer DSS on the end of the barrel. So there you go, that's the super close look at the E-Myth Ivan darts. Darts fit with a black coated 32mm point. There's a small taper on the bull nose there, 3mm, and then a smooth section of 4mm, and then including the painted grooves, you've got a standard ring and groove grip, 10mm, another smooth section, 8.7mm, and again including the painted grooves, you've got another section of ring grip, and some triple thin rings with staggered cuts, that's 15.7 in total, and then a smooth section on the end of the barrel, 11.3mm. Length is 52.7mm, width is 6.2mm. $23.21 grams. $23.17 grams. And 23.19 grams. Full setup, 24.75 grams. Here's the balance with nothing attached and with the supplied setup. And this is the balance with medium in between short nylon stems and standard flights. The thin triple rings with the staggered notches is probably the grippiest at 6.5. Let's give them a throw and see how they go. Oh, I thought that second one was above the wire, but it was in. Oh, well, I went a little bit fishtaily there, like, but it still went in the treble. It's got quite a thin feel to the barrel, which is not always pleasing to me, but I'm sure a lot of people will like it. Oh, my arm's gone dead stiff. I don't know if you hear that, my shoulder clicking. Got that grip at the front, doesn't feel too bad, and I think the coating is adding a little bit of, I wouldn't say like grippiness, but like a non kind of slippiness, dry feel. Well, mostly fine, all right. Just kind of getting used to the thinness of the barrel, but didn't feel too bad there. So try the mid section now. I think that's around where that orange band is in the first kind of like staggered cuts on the rings. All in a line. Well, like I said before, it may depend on how you get on with smooth sections, and if that's okay then you might be alright, but if not then there's only really the two grippy parts, so it may depend on where your fingers fall. But then grippy parts there with the lateral cuts on the rings, that doesn't feel too bad, that. I am getting quite a bit of like fishtailiness, and it's kind of like leaning like that when it's hitting the board sometimes. But I'll try the rear section, so I'm going to kind of like go on that section where the staggered cuts are again, just to see. See, doing it again, but drifting right off. A little bit closer. But it's a dart that's going to suit any grip position, but it will depend on whether you need grip or not. So like I say, there's not grip the full length, so you've got them sections of smoothness, so they're in the wrong spot for you and you need grip, then you'll be out of luck. But overall the dart itself feels quite nice, but a bit on the thin side. So like I say, it will work whether you're front, mid or rear, but depends if the grip's in the right spot for you, and if you're happy with smooth parts then fine. But I think the only stumbling block really is the price, and it's a nice barrel, but I really think they need to try and get the prices a little bit lower, and also the fact that there's no UK sellers yet. But I did hear a rumour that some UK shops may be stocking them, but I don't know if that's confirmed yet. But for now, you can only contact the manufacturer if you want a set, so I'll put up an email in the description of who you need to contact. So if you want a set, you'll have to contact them. So that's the end of the review. I'll leave you with the gallery so you can have a better look at them, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy darting.